Welcome to Heavy Brand Podcast, DJ Lish.
What's going on, boy?
Not much. Just motivated as always. Glad to finally have you on the show. Now, for the young viewers and young listeners, now before you made your name around the city as DJ Lish, being an actor, being a promoter, running a club, take us all the way back towards high school when you first started out from point A to point Z right now.
All right. In high school, I pretty much was into sports. You know, I grew up over there on Schoolcraft, Metatar area. But in middle school, going into high school, all my friends, we pretty much had our option going into the ninth grade. Like, what was we going to do? Most of my friends continued to be in a Schoolcraft gang because that's the neighborhood we lived in. And 2, 3 of us went to go play basketball. Like I said, we went on head to Cooley High School and played ball there. So pretty much at the beginning for me, it was just all sports.
Oh, wow. So now, when did you stop playing ball as far as like on an organized tip?
Man, to be honest with you, to this day, I regret not trying to pursue my dream into playing college ball. And from there on, but in my time, I came out in '96. So Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett was the first to jump from high school to the NBA. So NBA was out of the question. My whole was getting on varsity, getting a scholarship to play for D1. I went to Cooley House. Coach Ben Kelso pretty much recruited me and a few of my other homeboys out of Cadillac Middle School. He used to have us come up to the gym and scrimmage with the Cooley varsity team. Now, the mistake I made was I didn't think it was a mistake till later on. I went to Cooley, the ninth grade, but when I got there, I just saw so many people that was 18 times better than me. I mean, I walked into a powerhouse. I mean, there was guys in there in that gym 6'9", 6'4", 6'6", and I was just like, thought I was the man in the neighborhood. But walking into Cooley High, it was a whole new level. Not knowing to this day, them players I laid my eyes on, they was like one of the best teams in the country at the time. But I didn't know that being in middle school. But I just saw that they physiques, they size, they backs was wide, they calves was big. So I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna go. I always was like, I'm gonna go. Like even playing basketball, I like to play on the weakest team. That way I can get more shots, and I'm against the odds.
Okay.
I didn't be on a team where it's stacked up with at least 4, 5, 7 good players. I wanted to go somewhere where I actually can contribute right off the top. So I went to Redford High School for a year, ninth grade, but I got into some trouble there. Pretty much was afraid of that neighborhood gang. Got into it with that neighborhood gang. So I'm like, man, let me go back to my neighborhood, which is School. Let me go back to Cooley, because that's where all my friends was at anyway.
All right.
But Cooley, it's the same players I played with in middle school. I played against in freshman, and then we played on JV. Now going into 11th grade, it was time to go up to varsity. A lot of kids these days be at varsity at 9th grade, but back then, you really had to earn your stripes. You really had to play on a freshman team, JV, then varsity. But Ben Kelso, I'll never forget. He pulled me in the I'm walking in the hallway, and he he had a funny voice. He like, hey, you, hey, come here. And I'm like, I'm nervous. I go up and talk to him. It's like, what's going on, coach? He's like, I recruited you guys all together, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I was working with you guys, had you come up to the gym, scrimmage with us, by you leaving, going to Redford, and not coming to Cooley that freshman year, he said, them guys that was in your class always will be ahead of you. He said, matter of fact, I don't care how good you are or how better in advance you are over them. They stayed, you left. They will always be ahead of you. And if you make the team, I wouldn't play you 1 second, and it wouldn't bother me in my sleep. And I thought he was joking. I'm thinking, you know, some people might say some things to you, you know, words just kind of test you. I didn't share this with nobody. None of my friends, nobody. Because if you look at the 95, 96 roster, those was the guys I used to play with every day in the gym. And I was better than half of them. Probably like one of the top 2, 3. Like, you know how you play pickup games?
Yeah.
You know, I made my mark in the neighborhood before I even got to the middle school, high school. But in practice, Kelso has said in the hallway, he meant it. And I learned throughout the time going to practice every day. To be rewarded, you would get a jersey, a practice jersey, or practice jogging suit. Mm-hmm. I was the only player he wouldn't give a jogging suit or a shirt to. So I'm thinking, like, is he testing me? Is he just trying to see if I'm going to stick it out? But he didn't even play me in the scrimmages. So what he had said in that hallway,
he followed through on
it. He meant that. He meant that from the heart. And I went and got a regular job. And from there on, I just worked my last 2 years in high school. Still played ball. You know, you got your gym hours. You know, I'm still cool with the varsity team. So I'm always in their practices talking to them. We got our relationship, but it was always a part of me like, I belong in that group. That's my group. That's my class.
Of course.
I was a top scorer in elementary, middle school. This the level of grades schools we all traveled. We all stayed in that neighborhood our whole life. Mm-hmm. But when he got the Cooley, Kelso, I guess just because I made that leap to Redford and then stayed 9th grade, he looked at it like a smack in the face. Like, I've been recruiting you guys in middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and you bust up and went to Redford. And I never got a chance to play varsity at Cooley. And, you know, we live and learn.
And as they say, the rest is history, huh?
Maybe I should have stayed. You know, if I would have known it was that deep, I would have stayed it. But they had a powerhouse in that gym, bro. When I walked in that gym, I looked at them guys. I said, no, it ain't gonna be easy. And it wasn't that I didn't like the challenge. It was like they bench players could have went to another school and been starters. That's how good Cooley was. If you used to look, you know, some of the viewers look up PSL championship, Detroit basketball, Cooley High School, or Ben Kelso, powerhouse.
Now, take us to right after you graduated from Cooley, did you pursue playing JUCO ball, or at that point you were just sticking with the 9 to 5?
Well, pretty much right after high school, I went to Henry Ford Community College. And you know how you keep real with yourself? Like, my skills at 6'2" was more, I was the power forward in the neighborhood. Okay. But as basketball grew and the game got wider, the players got taller. Now you got guys that 6'2", barely is a point guard. Better yet, a power forward on the high school team. You got guys 6'7", 6'8", pushing the ball up the court. So my eyes saw all of this, and I keep 100 on myself. I'm good. It's a million players good all across the globe, all across the world, but only maybe 300-400 of them make it to the NBA for that season out of the whole. So instead, I pursue my career, and I wanted to always be a party promoter, get into DJing, promoting, get into the music business. I wanted to be an A&R scout. I was really into the music because my dad, he was always DJing and he used to he had a little rap group. You know what I'm saying? He used to get into the rap, a local. He had a small record label. So I was like, man, I used to always follow Russell Simmons, Puff Daddy, the intern for Andre Harrell. The rest in peace, Andre Harrell. He just passed the other day, and I saw Russell Simmons up and coming. So I was like, man, I want to try that out. I want to give it a shot. So instead of trying to pursue my career in basketball, I went into the music business. So I moved to California. I went to UCLA Music Business Extension Program for A&R.
Okay.
And I got an opportunity to intern for like that the next 2 to 3 years between Universal Records, Sony Records. I was just going back and forth trying to make it, man.
Now, when you first went out there, did you run into like a future artist that made it big, like a Life Jennings?
That was the guy. I ran into guys that was in artist development. One of them was Life Jennings, Keisha Coles, Slim Thug, 50 Cent. I actually interned for Shady Records marketing department. So I was in that office every day, working that project with my actual boss. I was just, really an intern pretty much to somebody that really just like a secretary. They want you to go get some coffee, go get some coffee. They want you to sit in a meeting. If they like you, you sit in a meeting.
Oh, yeah.
What's beneficial for an internship that's non-paid, the only thing you can get out of it that you can't pay for is the connections, the people you're around, the room you're in. Right. I'm in the same room with King Commissar, who actually was the vice president of Michael Jackson record label, vice president of Epic Records. That's all under the Sony umbrella. So I was out there for like 2 to 3 years for free, 40 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, between Sony and between New York and California.
All right. Now, what brought you back home to the city?
What brought me back home, okay, my internship at Sony, it backfired on me trying to help out my hometown. Keep in mind, I'm going to try to sum it up quick as I can. I'm interning for Sony Records. I'm out there for, let's say, 6, 7, 8 months. I got cool with the whole staff. After work, we all went to House of Blues or whatever, free concert tickets that the label had laying around within the office. Thanksgiving, they invite me to their food, they house to eat. These executives, these are the people that's making the music business run behind the scene. Oh, right. So at the time, I lived next door to Fox 2 News off, I believe it was either 10 Mile or 11 Mile, but it's off Greenfield in Southfield, like borderline. The apartment buildings next door was right next door to Fox 2 News. So keep in mind, hold that thought right there. I will come home once every 2 months and host a hip hop showcase. Because keep in mind, that's what I did before I left. I was a promoter. I do a couple of parties. So I put together hip hop showcases. And on top of every showcase, I will let the crowd know, like, hey, it's not a Sony showcase, but I'm currently an intern at Sony in California, and I'm interning in the A&R department, stands for artists. If you don't know what the A&R department is, that department don't exist no more for the viewers. It's a department that's pretty much, let's call it a talent scout. That's what it really was. That's what the A&R department was. So I'll be like, I would listen to a lot of the artists' demos in Detroit out of my showcase and take them back home, take them back to California. If I found something that I like, my boss liked, he'd set up an interview. My goal was to try to get an artist from Detroit a record deal. Okay. That was the ultimate goal. And it backfired on me because just to speed the story up, I had some successful meetings. Tone, Detroit rapper, I think he currently signed with Akon now, but at the time he was new. They wanted to set a meeting up with him, but he was already signed to Jazzy Faye. manager named Floss a lot. I actually got him a meeting with the Sony VP to listen to his artists. So my goal was semi-accomplished because the whole thing was just to get a Detroit talent in front of a music Sony. Something that was like damn near impossible, probably to this day. Well, technology changed today. You can blow up on the internet. But back then, that was everybody's dream, just to get an interview, to get the music heard by A&R executive. And one particular artist went to Fox 2 News and told them I was guaranteeing people Sony contracts and taking their money at my local showcases. So Fox 2 News, it's a story for them. My boss called me. She said, hey, Ulysses, because I'm in Detroit at the time. She said, Fox 2 News called Sony New York legal department, and they're saying that, you're hosting showcases out there using the Sony name and this and that. And I said, no. I said, I go down there to Fox 2 News and show them my credentials and let them know what was my purpose of my showcase. So me and my girlfriend at the time, we drove to Fox 2 News. I walk in the lobby. I said, hey, I'm Ulysses. I heard you guys you called up to Sony, asking about me. So I'm here to show you all my credentials. The guy come bursting out with the camera. I think he still worked for Fox 2 News, Hall of Shame. So he's interviewing me, and I'm letting him know, my name Ulysses. This is my ID. This is my application. When I first applied for the Sony internship, this is their paperwork saying I'm a such and such. So we called my boss, Hillary, and she on the speakerphone. I said, yeah, Hillary, I'm in front of Fox 2 now. She grabbed the phone. She's on the phone. He talking to her. She's like, yes, he's an intern, active intern at Sony, and it's okay for him to go home and pretty much shop demos, look for demos. If he's hosting a showcase, that's something he's doing on the side, long as he never said this was on the behalf of Sony. It's a Sony showcase, which I have footage saying I never said that. So we hang the phone up. We think everything cool. You know what I mean? I done been back to Sony a few times. Came back home a few times because I would come home on the weekend. You see, somebody like, bro, you on the news. I said, for what? And when I mean to tell you, they took that little segment of me talking to him and her talking to him, the power of editing. So he pretty much flipped the story as if Ulysses called out to Sony and they don't even know who he is. So you got calling on the phone, and then they edit like a dial tone, like, you know what I mean?
Like we called and
So listen, bro. So at this time point, everybody in this, my boss called me. She said, Ulysses, you only an intern, and this much press coming back to us, you no longer could be an intern after this. She said, it's just too much. It's not like you're an employee and we could just give you a couple of weeks off, but this too much negative publicity for an intern. She said, I know it was a mistake. You didn't mean no harm. Take it as a life lesson learned. And, I was just like, I lost my internship at Sony University. So then I had to come back home and try to look out for my hometown. That was my first time around. But of course, I tried again, went back out to New York this time. Intern for Jimmy Henchman, who at the time was managing the game.
Okay.
And landed the internship for Russell Simmons Music Group. This is when he departed from Def Jam and he started his own imprint that probably lasts for 2 years. He didn't get no artists off the ground because at this time, Russell Simmons is the Russell Simmons he is today. Fat Farm, bunch of other stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So I interned out there, man. And then to answer your question, what made me come back? This 2-3 years, 40 hours a week, no pay. I ran out of money. I remember living in Bed-Stuy. All my stuff was there. I was staying in one of them little brownstown, with them little apartments doing my internship. And I just ran out of money, Kof. I couldn't survive not getting paid from the labels. Because as the internship is going on, the music game is changing. Mm-hmm. Today's artists is uploading music on YouTube, all these platforms. Now the A&R department went from this to this.
Okay.
The label felt like, why would we pay an A&R executive $200,000-300,000 a year and fly them all across town to go look for an artist? And now we can click on a button and find the artist online. And that was the power of download, internet, and you see the game changing.
Yeah, social media.
So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting in Shady. I'm sitting. I remember being in the Shady department inside of Universal Studios. Yeah, I saw 50 Cent. You used to see him all the time. You know what I mean? We couldn't act. When we see these people, they were celebrities in our eyes. But if you working in that roof, they just regular people. So 50 used to always be in there. And my boss introduced me to 50, like directly introduced me to Jimmy Henchman, because Game was, of course, signed. And I remember calling in the marketing department. I had to always call the 5 big cities: LA, New York, Detroit, Miami. I forgot the 5th one. Call back home and check Detroit, and check the radio station, BDS to SoundScan, how many times a song's getting played. So I had to always check, track 50 Cent, how many songs where they can play and how much. But the relationship was with the DJ in every hometown.
Okay.
I'm sitting there like, okay. It seemed like the most important person in this industry right now, before you get to the big dog,
is a DJ.
Is the DJ in them home clubs, in them parties, in them strip club didn't exist in my mind at the time. It was more parties. So I said, you know what? I'm going home and be a DJ. And I remember being in New York. I didn't even have enough money to get home. And I called my homeboy Jarrell. I said, bro, I'm stuck at the in the subway right now, in the subway in the Greyhound station, bro. I ain't got no money. I need $90 to get back home. And he Western Union to me. And I was able to get the ticket. I left all my clothes, everything in that little Bed-Stuy apartment. And I never been back to New York after that. I said, the next time I come back to New York or California, I'm coming back wealthy. I'll never come back trying, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My ambition to make it, bro, I really, I tried. I don't know too many people in my demographic who around me would have tried that.
Yeah.
But I tried it. But that's what brought me back. I said, I'm gonna go home and be a DJ.
Now, what lesson could you share with the young viewers and the young listeners as far as, for young people that have never been outside the Detroit city limits? What could you share with them to give them some confidence?
Pretty much just know everybody you look at today that's successful, probably got the cars, the girls, the money, the glamour. Just know it was a grind behind that. That just didn't come overnight, You have to crawl before you walk. You know what I mean? Before you have to run, before you learn how to run fast, you got to walk. So there's really 3 steps: crawl, walk, run.
Yep.
Just stick with it. Because at the end of the day, you will value what you work for. You're not going to value nothing that's handed to you, And that's why that's my advice to all the youth that's coming up that's trying to do anything as far as being a doctor, lawyer, professional basketball player. If you're a lawyer, you got to hit the books. Basketball player, you got to be out there practicing when ain't nobody looking. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to get into, my field's promotion, I have a passion for. I had a passion for DJs, so yeah, I had to practice. But it really wasn't practice to me because I love doing it. It's just now finding a way to make a living off of it, which was the other story.
Now, there's talk about you putting out, is it a documentary about your life story?
Yeah. I want to put out a documentary pretty much based on my up and coming and all the things I had to go through to get where I'm at physically and mentally. I was verbally and physically abused when I went to my grandparents, when I moved on Schoolcraft. You know, that's a whole nother story and a whole nother interview. But my documentary is kind of based around that because I know somewhere today there's a kid out there is getting beat up, verbal abuse, or maybe physical, and just think it's the end of the world. This thing is not, there's no hope. Nobody loved me. Nobody wants me. Everybody's talking about me. I might as well commit suicide. My movie and documentary is going to be targeting those kids, those people, those kids, those that's being broken down with low self-esteem. Stick with, because I was once that person, you know, and I turned out to be all right. I turned out to be good, successful. I'm good at what I do. I make a good living at what I do, and I'm able to take care of my family off of something that it's a passion for me. But my documentary is pretty much gonna be based off my up and coming, pretty much because I just know I had two people talk to me every day through them hard times. My uncle friends, a guy named Charles Lil D, they pretty much kept me level-headed, like, man, it's gonna be all right, bro. And, you know, it's gonna be like this, hang in. Because nobody defended me of what was going on inside the house of my uncle just beating me up every day, anytime. So that's what my movie is gonna be based on. I just want to help that person that's going through that. Maybe they might see my story and be like, man, this happened to me now. Okay, then see the end of my story, how I overcame it mentally. Yeah, that's the main goal of my documentary.
Now, are you gonna feature some like a casting call to get some people in the movie, or is it gonna be pretty much a documentary featuring mainly you and a couple other people in your circle?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a casting call because I think I probably need about 8 to 20 actors total to complete the project.
Okay.
With the help of yourself, helping me putting the script together, bringing everything. I definitely will put an ad out after, you know, we get everything together for our script. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, even if 20 people watch it, bro, as long as I touch somebody.
Yeah.
It don't have to be a million viewers. It can be 10 viewers. As long as somebody see my story and be like, damn, he went through that when he was younger. It don't seem like it. It seemed like Lish came from man. I came from a nice household, had a roof over my head. I don't even go back to that house, man, really. It's you know, because to this 40 years later, man, it still bothers me in my sleep sometimes. So just think, if the strong as I am, when I'm up and moving and walking around, I can just wake up crying in the middle of my sleep. Something I can't, you know, you can't control your dream, you know? So, yeah, that's what that movie is going to be based on. I'm going to come out with a nice trailer just to set it off so people can get a feel of it.
And now, you have some previous acting experience. Tell us the title of that movie that you had a scene with. Was it Al Nuke in the scene with?
Yeah. Al Nuke is the first movie director that reached out to me, gave me a little cameo, had a few words, and I appreciate Al Nuke for that. The movie 8 Mile, Eminem, I was able to see from behind the scene on what it takes to put together a big motion picture. Okay. I was extra, you know, you got this, I was an extra in that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, when the movie first come on, when Mekhi Phifer is walking through the hallway, I'm actually in that hallway with him. So I actually got hands-on experience seeing that scene being recorded 20 times. But unfortunately, you only got my back. They paid us for it, bro. They paid us. They paid all the extras and they fed us.
Oh, okay.
The movie 8 Mile, yep. I didn't know it was gonna be big. I didn't know the movie was gonna be that big. I just knew it was around the music scene. Maybe I can get near Eminem. You know, we got our hopes, bro. Maybe I might bump Eminem in the lobby. You know. Yeah. So those the only two experiences I got, as far as, you know, in the film industry, and it's something I want to pursue seriously, starting with my documentary.
Okay. Well, DJ Lish, thank you for your time. Obviously, you're gonna come back on the show, come back on the Heavy Brand podcast once we get some headway with your upcoming documentary. So I hope to have you on sooner than later. And also, we're gonna have a PSL series. We're gonna have some PSL hoopers from back in your era, the golden era of PSL basketball. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. Thanks for coming on to the Heavy Brand podcast on Instagram at Heavy Brand Inc. on Facebook, IG Reality TV. Salute.
Salute, my brother. Peace.